I've been paying attention to and learning from OMNIA and Shanta Primavardhana and the other teachers at OMNIA for about 7 years. I've attended Interfaith Peacemaker Team trainings twice, and I think the plane has finally landed for me. Sometimes I'm just a slow learner. Over this time, I've learned how community organizing principles of building power and acting strategically can intersect with principles of religious pluralism as a means of countering religious extremism and violence. I've learned how interfaith peacemaker teams trained by OMNIA leaders have led to the release of young women kidnapped by Boko Haram in Nigeria, and how interfaith peacemaker teams in Sri Lanka have helped to overcome violence and hunger by addressing religious extremism and centuries-long damage from colonialism. Learning about OMNIA's approach and choosing to support OMNIA's work, that's been the easy part for my wife Maureen and for me. As a U.S. pastor, worn out over the last few years by leading through COVID and then dealing with post-COVID issues like membership decline, I've struggled to grasp what my own small slice of redemptive work in the world is supposed to be right now. OMNIA is helping me to work that out. I see my own country engaged in deep struggle with religious extremism and violence. I don't need to recount for you the challenges of U.S. American gun culture and what feels like daily mass shootings in the U.S., nor do I need to rehash the toxic cultures and convergence of Christian nationalism and white supremacy. And this is where OMNIA enters the picture for me in 2023. OMNIA's Interfaith Peacemaker Team approach leads to interreligious encounter and dialogue between Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and Christians in places like Nigeria and Sri Lanka. This is also important in the United States. However, I'm thinking that the most needed interfaith encounter and dialogue in the U.S. is between Christians and Christians. Christians who lean toward both Christian nationalism and extremism and extreme exclusion of those who do not believe as they do, and those more moderate and mainline Christians who reject Christian nationalism and who are more inclined to acknowledge the plurality of religious traditions as valid and to be respected. Dialogue among various Christian traditions has long been called ecumenism. I think now that dialogue between extreme Christian conservatives and Christian nationalists on the one hand and moderate to progressive Christians on the other is a matter of dialogue between very different faiths. We need to address religious extremism, gun violence, white supremacy, and other issues of social justice in the U.S. as interfaith issues. I believe that OMNIA's Interfaith Peacemaker Team approach and training can catch on in the U.S. as it has in Nigeria and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and open up bridges and pathways to a safer, more just U.S. society. The challenge for us in the U.S. is we like to talk about these things. My ongoing engagement with OMNIA is helping me work out how to move from a lot of talking to action.